Okay, what's up, guys? What Culture Wrestling has uploaded a video titled 10 Awesome WWE Ideas That Didn't Last. And I feel like that there is some out there. Who knows? Let's just see what they got going on. Maybe it might refresh my memory on some things. But yeah, I feel like that there is times WWE, they did have something good going on. And it just seemed like it just flew by really quick. So, flew by really quick, or they just pulled the plug on it and was just like it wasn't bringing the attention that it needed. So let's see what goes on. Maybe because now that they're in this new era, they could bring some of these things back. But let's just see what goes on. Make sure you guys go subscribe to What Culture Wrestling for more videos like this. And that being said, let's get into this video.
We're all quick to rag on WWE when they drop the ball, but it's good to remember sometimes that there's a reason they're still number one. It's because they've had a number of successes over the years that have resonated with us, the fans. These days, there's usually a group of people who will find an issue with anything, but screw that. When Vince McMahon hits a home run, he usually hits it out of the bleachers.
I don't know. People are going to probably call me crazy, but I kind of like the whole 24/7 title thing. I'm one of the ones where I'm like, you know what? This is entertaining. R-Truth, I like seeing him on TV. Like, that man, anytime he's on TV, I'm always laughing. Like, he's the one reason why I like it. If I've never laughed at WWE, he's like, and I've laughed because he is on TV. I don't even know the words I'm trying to say, but I have it like figured out in my head, but it's just like not coming out right. So, but yeah, R-Truth, if you ever hear me laughing on the WWE show, it's because of that man.
We should talk about today is
when
WWE comes up with a concept that is going well, and it just vanishes. It seems bizarre to go to all of the effort of establishing something and then stabbing it in the face, but it does happen. The real shame is it hurts us right in the heart. Blood goes everywhere. Hopefully examining some of these will provide you with some closure, so the next time you're up at night fretting about one, you can let it slip back out of your brain.
I forgot all about that.
Head back to sleep. I'm Simon from
That was some time ago,
this
too,
is 10
that's
awesome
when
WWE
Wade Barrett was
ideas
here.
that didn't last. Number 10, the Wrestling Classic. Before we had what we know today as the Big Four, all WWE had in terms of a major event was WrestleMania. That aired in 1985 and was such a success the company wanted more, and that happened later that year when they gave birth to the Wrestling Classic. The second pay-per-view in WWE history, the premise was nice and simple. We would have a 16-man tournament with only pride on the line, and it ended with the Junkyard Dog standing tall over the Macho Man Randy Savage. In short, it wasn't the best thing ever, but it was really cool, and yet once we were done, we never saw it again. The WWE Network and NXT to a lesser extent have shown that a tournament can still work in the modern day, so why don't we go back to something like this once a year?
Yeah, didn't they have it also they kind of had like that King of the Ring tournament stuff, because it was like I think the two most iconic ones was Triple H and Booker T, but yeah, it was like that was entertaining watching that and stuff. So whatever happened to that? We need more of that.
I even have a great name for it. King of the Ring.
Exactly. Yeah.
Instead, they've all but been lost, which is even more baffling given how many wrestlers are currently on the roster. I'm sure they'd love something to do.
Yeah.
Number 9, Crime Time C Nation. Right, yes, it was this great.
Hey, they just won a championship, those two. I follow this wrestling page on Instagram, and they show I was like, man, what, like they were pretty entertaining, seeing them on TV and stuff, so
that gave us everything with John Cena, JBL, and writing poopy on a windscreen, but let's just forget about that at the moment. What matters was that teaming Cena with Crime Time, who had just returned to WWE in 2008 and calling themselves the CTC, did wonders for the tag team. They instantly had a legitimacy they lacked previously just because they're on the same playing field as a main eventer. It was a genius move. It also worked the other way around. As already hinted at, Cena had lost some of his cool points given.
Forgot their attire, man. Like they were wearing anything. Like seeing them in Tim's, bro. Like that's wow. I never paid attention to that, but like Tim's can be used for anything, man. Like they got guys wearing them in professional wrestling. Like come on now.
Verbiage, and Crime Time helped with that. They had an edge to them, and it was able to rub off on Big Match John too, who started to feel just a little more like his old thugonomic self. Unfortunately, soon after this, Cena suffered a herniated disc in his neck, which ended this alliance, and also Crime Time's prospects. They lost all of this momentum and would find themselves just sitting with the rest of the pack. When the man who can't be seen returned at Survivor Series, it was just to go back to what he was doing before. Or in short, what the fans didn't want. Number 8, Kofi Kingston in the main event. Kofi Kingston's WrestleMania 35 push has mostly come down to the fact there was an opportunity that sprang out of nowhere, and Kofi had the legacy and experience to fit in seamlessly. He had deserved it, as they say, and quickly all the
That was dope. He was wearing those Nike Adapt shoes that you just press the button and they just lace up and things, but I feel like he could be. He's a good main eventer. Like it was good seeing him win the champ. I feel like he could do more with it. Like they have him at WrestleMania, have it where he's like he wins his first like WrestleMania championship retain thingamajigger. I don't know, but like something, man. Like, but don't come on. Let's have Kofi. This man been in the business for some time now. So, but let's just see what he has to say. I haven't let the man finish. So.
Fans were behind it. In 2009, however, he found himself in a very different role in the sense he was being primed for the top of the card by design. Kingston had been on the roster for a couple of years and had proven himself to be a steady hand. He'd won the odd mid-card title along the way, and slowly but surely had also ditched his light-hearted Jamaican gimmick to show a more serious side. All of this led to
I'll never forget when there was Triple H. He called them out on that. That was a moment I'll never forget in WWE. I think it was Triple H, Kofi, and some other guys, and then was it the No Way Out? Like right before that 2009 No Way Out. It might have been, but I remember Triple H was just like, what happened to that Jamaican accent you had there? And then there's like the crowd's like, ooh, and there's just like that was funny. That was funny. Like, Kofi, you can't. And it was like, what was the whole. I mean, because I think, he is from Jamaica. But it's like, what was the whole reason? Or is he? No, I think. Where's that man from again? I can't remember. But, no, it's like that man had that accent for no reason.
A feud with Randy Orton, which was awesome. A boom drop in the crowd at Madison Square Garden received a huge ovation from the audience.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Kofi was ready even if he happened to lose this program. However, it was an incident afterwards which would prove to be the death knell of whatever this was meant to be. After Kingston made a mistake during another match with Orton, he got up off the canvas even though he was meant to be punt kicked in the head. Randy went nuts at him, dropping him with an RKO and calling him stupid so loudly everyone could hear. He was not best pleased. It utterly derailed Kofi's push, as I would guess the Viper got into somebody's ear, and that was that. It was the end for our man until 2019. So I think he's earned it. Number 7, the Bobby Heenan show.
Wow, that's crazy. That's something that I never would. Wow, that is something. Yeah, that's wow. And like now it does kind of like make sense why it's like this man hasn't won the championship. Now it's all like he had to like prove himself. Like, okay, I'm not gonna be making mistakes and all this stuff. But dang. That's messed up. That's something that they wouldn't bring up in WWE and things. And it's like you haven't really seen them. When have they like after that? Did they really get into any like matches or anything? Because that's wow. That's crazy. And it's like then it's like he can't really say much about it. Here it is, Randy Orton. He's like already a veteran in the company. Then he has his dad to look at, and okay, he can't be making no mistakes at his like point in time in the career right now. And Kofi just being in there is like, dang, that does that. All right, I guess that makes sense in some way. Like he's been in this like he's been in the WWE for so long, then hasn't won the championship. Then it would make sense if Randy Orton did say something to somebody, which like was just like, you know what, we ain't ready for you yet. There's still a lot that you got to do. Then Kofi was probably just so used to just being like the undercard guy, and now he's a main card guy. Yeah, all right, I understand.
Heenan was probably the most hated man in all of WWE as the 80s became the 90s. Often managing a group of heels who were taking on the company's biggest baby faces, it was usually Heenan who got most of the heat. Fans were desperate to see him get his ass kicked. Given his range of talents, the powers that be decided to give him the Bobby Heenan Show, a real talk show with real guests that had a wrestling tinge but wasn't overly obsessed with it. The idea was to bring in a new audience, although those already invested were aboard straight away when it turned out this would air during the last 30 minutes of primetime wrestling. In storyline, Heenan had walked out of his spot in that program to stick it to Gorilla Monsoon and stealing his valuable viewing time. Bobby interviewed all manner of people too, and it certainly seemed off the cuff. It was hilarious as well, which is why it sucked when after 4 shows it was canned. Apparently the viewing figures didn't match the level of entertainment, and that was enough for WWE to pull the plug. While you can understand that on one level, It was also sad news. Number 6, babyface Bray Wyatt. This should have been 2016's biggest highlight. After being forced to miss WrestleMania 32 with injury, Bray Wyatt returned in its aftermath to start a feud with the League of Nations. It seemed as if WWE was finally ready to go all in with the good guy version of Wyatt, and fans were ready. The cult leader had won us over, and we wanted to cheer him. As we know though, anytime Bray got a glimmer,
I felt like the crowd, they would cheer Bray Wyatt regardless. Bray Wyatt, like, even though like he'll have like a heel, like, you know, side and stuff, I feel like the crowd, they would still like just cheer for him no matter what he does and things. So he could be, he could be a bit. If he was like a babyface, that would be kind of cool to see that. But heel, babyface, it doesn't even matter. Bray Wyatt has just so much to offer to the like wrestling business that it wouldn't even matter what he is in the wrestling business like this. Like he's a very creative person, so I think it doesn't matter. He'll be good regardless.
Of hope it was stolen away due to forces unknown, and that happened again here. He suffered another injury, and when he came back this time, he was going after the New Day, who were the goodest of good guys. Any sense of a change had been thrown out the window, and we'd gone back to the status quo. Number 5, the League of Nations. Yes, the League of Nations in practice sucked. We all know this, but when you look at it on paper, it didn't have to be this way. For years, fans had fantasy booked some kind of European stable between Cesaro, Sheamus, Wade Barrett, Drew McIntyre, and Rusev, and we took a step towards this when Sheamus, Rusev, and Wade did just that. For some reason Alberto Del Rio was added in as well, but whatever, you take what you can get. Mistreated from the off, the league soon became just ammunition for Roman Reigns to run through, and they never did anything of real note. The only silver lining about the aforementioned Wyatt injury was it forced WWE to break them up. With the right booking, this could have been a weird version of Evolution, albeit one that featured non-US wrestlers who were running through the competition thanks to the numbers advantage. The only thing I remember when thinking about them is that they summoned Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, and Steve Austin at WrestleMania 32 and got run into the ground. This should have been great, it was just handled awfully. Number 4, the awesome Truth. Think how loved and respected R-Truth is, not just now but always. He's always felt like a guy everyone just warmed to, especially as he manages to avoid the ravages of age. Coming up to 50, and yet in the summer of 2011 we teamed him up with The Miz and both managed to build up the heel heat requested and get it for the right reasons. Both deserve a ton of credit.
It was like, I had to say, like, my favorite moments of R-Truth, because he's definitely like my top 5. R-Truth, he's one of those wrestlers where I'm like, if he's on TV, I need to see what he's doing, okay? I just need to. But my favorite moment is when he attacked John Morrison / Johnny Nitro, and then it was the smoking thing, and I remember they were like getting on him about that. I didn't even care. I was just like, we all know smoking's bad, but it was like that little fit that he had, but hands down, probably one of the best R-Truth moments ever, alright? And then, of course, when he was doing, like, I think it was the Pretty Ricky promos and stuff, that was funny. And then Little Jimmy, that was good, too. And now, like, with the 24/7 championship thing, yeah, R-Truth, every time this man, he's probably one of the most underrated wrestlers and stuff. Like, this man can kill any promo, any, like, backstage stuff. Like, he could, if they ever needed a company, like, producer / writer or something for WWE, R-Truth would be that guy. Alright, that's just my opinion about R-Truth. Alright, if they ever need like a company behind the scenes person, they need to contact R-Truth. Alright, because like they're saying, like, you know, he's like almost there at 50 and stuff. Seemed like he's in good condition and things to wrestle and stuff. Like, that man be getting slammed around a lot, so he seemed like he's in good condition. Like, what, there be stuntmen out there like pushing like 50 or in their 60s. Look at Tom Cruise, man, 50 years old, still getting thrown all over the place. But anyways, yeah, I think R-Truth would be okay like this. And then, you know, also the comedy side to him, he could do just about anything in WWE. It'll be funny. All right, so anyways,
it was meticulously done. The pair would interrupt matches and basically hold the show hostage, and did it so well they were put in the main event of Survivor Series going against The Rock and John Cena, who, by the way, were in a mid-year build to their clash at Mania 2012. I don't think anyone would have guessed who their opponents would have been a few months prior to this, but again, that's how well Truth and Miz adapted. It wasn't meant to be long-term, though. It would take a while before either would get some steam back too, as WWE seemed to run out of ideas with them. The name will forever be etched into our brains because it's one of those so bad it's it's good deals, but really this had far more legs than we were allowed to see. Over too soon, pain and tears all around. Number 3, the Intercontinental Title Cup. For a long while now, WWE has booked wrestlers to win the IC title, tell them to head to the ring and say they're going to bring prestige back to the belt, only for that not to happen. In fact, whoever wins it from this guy usually spouts the same nonsense, and we're stuck in a cycle that never ends. A few winners have done this better than others, but a real highlight came back in 2013 when Wade Barrett laid claim to the prize. To figure out who would be his #1 contender, WWE announced the Intercontinental Cup, a tournament that would take the likes of Cesaro, The Miz, and even Randy Orton to see who would come out the other side ready for a shot at Mr. Bad News. Then it was just cancelled. In the storyline, Barrett claimed he'd been able to get it killed, but the real reason was WWE just decided the title should be on the line between Wade and Bo Dallas. That was fine, but given that we were still looking to rehab
young
the IC
Bo
belt,
Dallas,
like
without the beard,
weren't even
I can't wait. They need to do a story with Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt, because if people don't know, they are brothers in real life. So they really need to do every time when they do have them on, like they had it, because I remember when Bo Dallas and he had like the tag team with oh man, what was it? Heath Slater, and it wasn't somebody else. I can't even think of the other person, but yeah, it was like I think he went up against the Wyatt family, and I'm like, y'all ain't gonna do no storyline with that. Like, do some storyline. You have to. With them both in the company and stuff, you have to do some storyline with them. If it's small, big, I don't care. It has to be. And it could be like a brother versus brother thing. I don't know. It has to be some. That, honestly, this is how it could go down. Bo Dallas is gonna wrestle. Alright? He's gonna wrestle somebody. Maybe at some point in time, Bray Wyatt, he might comes out, he either attacks Bo Dallas or the opponent that he's fighting. Or they can have it, like, this could go so many different ways, this can. But they have it where either Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt, they fight against each other. Let's say Bo Dallas knows all his moves. Like, he knows who Bray Wyatt is. He has like a strange feeling. Finds out that they are brothers and stuff. Because it just seems like that they have not addressed that. So maybe it's like a build up. Who knows? It might be a build up at some point in time in their careers and stuff. But they end up fighting. They could have a WrestleMania moment, because I feel like that if we build this up and then it's just like it's this good, like really, really good storyline, I feel like that's when WWE creativity, that's when they come into place, and then they write that middle part. But the beginning part and the ending part, I got that down. So yeah, beginning part, they do fight. They just like, let people know like, oh, okay, like, they fighting and all that stuff. And then WrestleMania, like, that's where it really goes down. Like, they get to like some extreme, crazy match where it's like, whoa, this is insane. Like, we've never seen these two go at it like this before, and we wouldn't have thought it would have been this good. That's how it can go. It has to go down like that, where both of these guys together, all right? And that it could be like some like family history that they could tell their kids. Like, both your uncle, father, whoever in what place and category has had a WrestleMania moment with each other. Like, that, to me, that would be like a good picture to show when they're showing like wrestling history and stuff. Them two brothers face to face, because I feel like that those two, and it was just like the character that they've displayed in wrestling, that they would have the best brother versus brother WrestleMania moment. I mean, yeah, Matt and Jeff Hardy, they had like a good, like, brother versus brother moment in wrestling history. And it's like just seeing like that family drama within wrestling, it could get pretty intense. I feel like now that this PG era is over, it could be even better. It could be so much better. So much better. So that's what I'm just saying about, with WWE and stuff. That's personally how I feel about it. I don't know. You guys comment below, what would you like to see with Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas? But I think that they would definitely have one of the best brother versus brother moments in WWE history. Now back to the video.
Just the opportunity to a shot at it. That's how you make it feel like a big deal. It's a great idea which just vanished and has never been mentioned again. Number 2, Renegade Matt Hardy. As fascinating as it was back in 2005, because no one could believe what was happening,
I wasn't even watching wrestling back then.
Matt Hardy, Edge, and Lita was a mess. If you don't know, it did turn out that Edge and Lita had struck up a relationship, which was bad because she was also seeing Matt Hardy, who was a good friend of Edge. This happened while Matt was injured, and because of that, and that Edge was a top heel, Hardy was fired, and Lita was put with Edge as a team. It was all too real. This was a time when the power of the
That
internet
video.
was growing, and within days the news had gotten out, which also turned Hardy into a huge babyface. Fans chanted his name at arenas, and before long, WWE couldn't ignore it.
He was getting the CM Punk
Making
treatment.
sure that it couldn't get out of control, there was some deal made between Hardy and WWE as he was back in the company, only now he was a renegade. He would show up on Raw, attack Edge from nowhere before legging it or being arrested. While most knew what was happening, it was still really cool. Matt felt exciting, and the lines between reality and fiction had been brilliantly blurred. All we needed now was some epic matches and we'd have a feud on our hands, and as always we didn't get it. In fact, it was ruined after match 1. Their SummerSlam scrap was called off after Edge beat Matt so bad, the refs stopped it. Now that is the right finish, but it was the wrong way round. It should have been Hardy in that position, but instead we had to witness the man who had been cheated on also get the crap kicked out of him. And surprisingly, this was the beginning of the end. Number 1, the Good Hounds of Justice. After a year of destroying the WWE roster, the Shield started to hint at a face turn in the spring of 2014. This began with a feud against the Wyatt family, which lit the place up with some amazing matches.
Like I said, alright, WWE, somebody behind wrestling needs to pick up that story, alright? They need to. Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas, brother versus brother moment, WrestleMania. It could happen, all right. I got strong. I've been waiting for this moment ever since them two got into the WWE. I have been waiting for this moment. Okay, it needs to happen. WWE, please contact me. Take up this. Do something, all right. Do please. Like we need this.
And carried on through Mania.
I would be so happy when that happens.
The New Age Outlaws. They even laid waste to Evolution, and fans loved it. The trio were unstoppable. What was genuinely a big deal was halted only 4 months in, though, when Seth Rollins took a chair.
They try and bring that back.
That
That ain't gonna happen.
To bring the group to
Dean Ambrose is John Moxley now.
Shock reaction, but most people agreed we hadn't even peaked with this new version of the Shield, meaning we pulled the trigger too early. You never want to wait too long, which would see the surprise fall flat, but the audience were ready to embrace this till at least the end of the year. If we had waited too, it probably would have helped Roman Reigns no end knowing what we do now, and a couple of reunions ever since haven't worked due to a multitude of reasons. That all means we've never been allowed to cheer the stable in the way we wanted. It was taken away from us far too soon. We will never actually see it happen. Know of any other awesome WWE ideas that didn't last? Make sure you let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Then head over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles, and follow What Culture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. My name is Simon from What Culture, and I will talk to you again soon.
Go ahead, drop a like on that video. But yeah, my mind is just still wrapped on this Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas thing. I would really love for that to happen. So, anyways, but no, there was like some stuff in here. I was just like, okay, makes sense. Stuff, good ideas that didn't last so much. I feel like I gave out a pretty good idea that could possibly last. Like it can last like a whole year for the most part. Like I feel like that's how long it would need to last. And I feel like that if they would want to push like Bo Dallas to be like in a championship position or something, I feel like that definitely would like. And I don't know, like him being like that happy, positive person, like he needs like a crazy side to him. Not like Bray Wyatt where it's like crazy demonic, but like he just escaped from like an asylum and he's looking to fight. Like I feel like that's what they need to be working on with Bo Dallas, so that somehow him and Bray Wyatt they get into it. Like that's what they personally need. All right. So, anyways, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Make sure you go subscribe to What Culture Wrestling for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, peace.